Join Dr. Meena and Amanda as they discuss the latest with HNRNPU.
Brilliant. No, thanks, Amanda. And thank you so much to Better Future for you for raising the money for the zebrafish HNRNPU project. I'm really excited to see how that starts, how that progresses. So what we've done is we've got Suza Metalowska, who's an experienced research technician working in my lab, to be starting on that PhD come October 2024, so very soon, and we've got all the probes ready and ready to go. So it's really exciting to see how that work progresses. But also, like I said, thank you again to Better Future for you for raising the much needed funds for the HNRNPU research.
Yeah, and then so that study is going to go for a couple of years.
That's right. Yeah. It'll be, because it's been done as a PhD, it'll be 3.5 years for that. But what I'm hoping is, as I've always said, we're always one step ahead of the game. So, we've got Danielle, who's my other PhD student, working on the adeno-associated viral vector, the gene therapy for HNRNPU. And then, of course, when we have done this work in the cells, what we will then need to do is test it in an animal model to see if it's actually working in the animal model as well before we do any human studies, so to speak. So that's what Suza's work will nicely lead up to be able to do the animal model work once we've got the cell models sorted.
And because it's easy to grow the zebrafish, you can test it on multiple fish.
That's right. Yeah. What's great about zebrafish as an animal model is, of course, it's relatively quicker compared to mouse models because they have got much more shorter growth span, so you can grow them up much more quickly. They lay a lot of eggs, embryos, which means that you can do a lot more testing. The other good thing about zebrafish is you can also create what's called transgenic lines, where if you wanted to see if the animal has got a seizure, for example, and can you correct the seizure, then zebrafish is a great model to do that as well. So I think there's multiple reasons why zebrafish is a great model for this particular study.
And then, so when you're growing the fish, are you looking at how they grow just even from egg?
That's right. Yeah. So another reason zebrafish is a great model is because lots of the development happens within the first 24 to 48 hours, and you can follow it quite closely because they're transparent. So just looking under the microscope, you can see a lot of features as they grow, and most of the growth happens before day 5. So quite a lot of the experiments can be done before day 5, which is brilliant because you can get lots of meaningful data from that.
Yeah. And then, so do you have any expected outcomes from the information that you'll learn? So like how you're saying, we can then kind of do this side by side with the cellular models, and then from there, where does that go?
So for having done the cellular model work and generated the gene therapy, we will test this in the animal model, which is the zebrafish model here. And then I say it's simply a case of, I don't mean to minimize it, but what it will then mean is we can then be ready to move into clinical trials and things. It's a big mountain to climb, but it means that we can move it quite quickly to clinic. And to do that, we've got all the regulatory approvals to come, but all this data would help towards seeking those regulatory approvals.
Okay. And then is there anything that Better Future for You can help you for your next project?
Sure. I think what would be great is keep up the great efforts with the fundraising, continue to raise funds for the HNRNPU research, because we do want to make treatments a reality. The other focus for me also remains drug repurposing. So one of the things I also want to see is, and zebrafish is a great model to do that, try different drugs to see if there's anything that would actually reverse the phenotype in addition to the gene therapy. Because as I've said, one size is not going to fit all, and we are going to have multiple strands of therapies that are going to be hopefully rising at the same time, so we can actually try these different medications we've got, whether it's gene therapy or what I call advanced gene directed therapies. So what I would really hope is that the next project we can fund is the drug repurposing, potentially as a PhD project or a project in itself, a standalone project. The other good news I've just heard is that I've been offered a clinical fellow for the next 3 years to work on HNRNPU. So what I'm really hoping is that we can make great strides with the natural history study and collecting the cohort of patients that we need, so that when these trials are ready to go, we've got the patients that are ready to go as well.
Yeah, I think that that's something important to stress for families, that participation is very important.
Absolutely. I think do sign up to the natural history study. I'll make another great push for all the families to sign up to this. And then the other important thing is the longitudinal data collection. What do I mean by that is every year getting a bit of update on what has happened with your child. Has things changed? Have things remained the same? what has the seizure profile been like, because that's going to give us a very good idea about what we expect to see in the more longer term, and what are the things that we need to treat. Because of course I can sit here and say, I think it is this and this that needs to be treated, but as families, as parents, you need to tell me what are the things that you care about, what are the things that you want first for me to address, and that's what I need to be working on.
Yeah, so giving that input of like the patient and caregiver burden.
Absolutely, but also the quality of life, what are the things that impact your quality of life, and what are the things that we need to be addressing, because that's what we need to bring out as outcome measures, and that's what we need to be measuring as this is a good outcome measure if this treatment works.
Yeah, awesome.
Brilliant.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to sit and explain to all the families.
Thank you, and do please continue with the fundraising efforts, and do get in touch with me if you've got any questions. If anything's not clear, I'm very happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Better future for you. Creating a better future for those living with HNRNPU. Visit our website to learn more. www.bf4u.org